and welcome. Let's be real, we all spend a ton of time on YouTube, right? Watching everything from breaking news to, videos of cats playing the piano. But have you ever stopped to think about the actual digital skeleton that holds all of that together? Well, today, we're going to peel back the curtain on the YouTube channel and take a look at its hidden blueprint.
Joining the dots of terror. Whoa! I mean, that's a heavy, urgent kind of headline. It's the kind of thing that just stops you dead in your tracks while you're scrolling.
And yeah, that's the exact title of a video report you could find on the platform. We see the content, we see the thumbnail, we see the story. It all feels so immediate, you know? Very, very human. But behind all that content, there's a structure. What actually is the channel that put it out there? And I don't just mean its name. I'm talking about its fundamental digital anatomy, what it looks like from YouTube's point of view. That's exactly what we're going to dig into. So, to get there, we first have to solve this really common technical puzzle. How do you actually connect one single video all the way back to the channel that made it? It takes a little bit of digital detective work.
You know, this is a question that developers and programmers ask constantly. You've got that unique ID for a video, that jumble of letters and numbers you see in the URL, but you need to find its home. You need to find its source. So how do you make that connection?
Well, the solution is actually this really clean two-step process using what's called YouTube's API. An API is just how different computer programs talk to each other. So first, you use the API to ask about the video itself, and that gives you one critical piece of info, the channel ID. Then, you just take that ID and make a second request to find out everything there is to know about the channel it belongs to. And that second step, that's where things get really, really interesting. Because when you ask the API for the channel's details, it doesn't just hand you back the name. It gives you a complete data file, what's officially called a channel resource. So let's unpack it.
Probably the easiest way to think about this is to imagine an old-school library card catalog. The entire YouTube API is like that whole cabinet system, and the channel resource is that one specific, super detailed card that tells you everything you need to know about a single publisher. So this channel resource is broken down into different sections, or objects. The very first one, and probably the one you'd recognize the most, is called the snippet. This thing holds all the basic, public-facing information. Yep, these are all the things we see and interact with every day. The channel's title, that description you see on the About page, its cool custom URL, and even the exact date and time it was first created. It's the channel's whole identity, all neatly packaged up as data. Okay, next up is the statistics object. This is where a channel's size and reach are all laid out. It's all about the numbers.
The first big metric here is view count. And get this isn't just for one video. We're talking about the grand total sum of every single view on every public video the channel has ever uploaded. Then, of course, you've got the subscriber count. Pretty self-explanatory. But here's a fun little detail right from the official documentation. That number isn't exact. It's actually rounded to 3 significant figures. That's why you always see counts like 1.23 million and not some super precise number.
And finally, there's video count. Super simple. It's just the total number of public videos that are currently on the channel. It gives you a real sense of the sheer volume of content that creator has made.
So, beyond its identity and its stats, there's one more key piece, the status object. The best way to think about this section is like the channel's rulebook. It defines what the channel is and what it's allowed to do.
This section basically governs the channel's powers. Is its status public or private? Has it been verified, which lets it upload videos longer than 15 minutes? And a really important one these days, is the channel officially made for kids? Because that changes a whole lot about how the platform treats it.
Okay, so we know what kind of information is available, but how does a developer actually go and get it? Well, they use a command, or what's called a method, named channels.list.
Using the channels.list method is basically like shouting, "Hey YouTube, give me the channel resource." But of course, the API is going to shout back, which one? You have to give it some kind of unique ID to get the data for the specific channel you're interested in.
And as you can see, there are actually a bunch of ways to point to your target. You can use that unique ID we got from our video earlier, or you can use the newer @handle. You can even use a legacy username, like in the example the Young Turks. And if you're a developer building an app, you can just use the parameter mine to automatically get data for the user who's logged in. Pretty neat.
So let's zoom out. We've gone from a chaotic, very human news headline all the way down into this highly structured data file that defines its creator. So why does breaking it all down like this even matter?
Well, it's because it shows this fundamental duality of the entire platform. On one side, you have the content itself. It's human, it's messy, it's unpredictable, it's emotional. And on the other side, you have the structure. Orderly, logical, and perfectly readable by a machine. And one simply cannot exist without the other.
And here's the thing. The channel resource isn't just for techies. It is the universal blueprint that defines every single creator on YouTube. From the biggest news corporations on the planet to someone just uploading their very first video, they are all defined by this exact same set of data points, snippets, statistics, and statuses.
So the next time you're watching a video, just remember that there's this silent, structured set of data humming just beneath the surface. Now that you know the blueprint is there, does that change how you see the content playing on your screen? Something to think about. Thanks for watching.